All right. Welcome back to the Gen Shift. Guys, right. Like I said before on the TikTok live, I did promise that this particular podcast is going to be one that is electric. Whew, it is. It really is. It really, really is. And I want to say big shout out to PS Studios who are putting this on for me because they're absolutely awesome. And this goes out to Manuel and Kofi who are the co-producers for this show. Anyway, let's get into it, right? So today we're going to explore music evolution across generations, cultures, and creative landscapes. And today we're actually talking originality, passion, and the power of independent artistry. And who better to join us than the most fierce lion? I have to say that, guys, sorry. Mr. Boye Henry. Welcome.
Thank you so very much, eh?
Oh,
Thank you.
can I just tell the audience a little bit about who you are before we get into our
Absolutely.
our
Yes.
vibe?
Yes, please.
So, right, just so that you know, he is here. Boye is a Nigerian-born composer, writer, multi-instrumentalist who's been shaping Dubai's music scene for well over a decade. Like, this guy is coming with the whole suitcase of creativity. He walks the path of original sounds that captivate the souls of Dubai's landscape. He is a force to be reckoned with, an absolute force. And I, for one, am a biggest fan. So let's get into it. Welcome.
Thank you, Jay.
Welcome,
Thank you, Mama Jay, like we call you.
I am
Every time.
so glad that
Yeah.
you have made it to the show.
Yes, absolutely. In whichever way it has to happen.
So, Boye, obviously, tell us quick. Just a quick overview about your journey coming to Dubai. How did it happen? What was the influence behind you and this amazing music that you're creating?
Yeah, thank you very much for having me. It's my pleasure to be here. Well, it's a big how do I say it? Otherwise, it started as a just me coming for commerce.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Business, as it has been said. I got into business as well. Actually, people do not know that I do business. People actually think I'm just a musician, So, which is okay. We could. Well, I came to Dubai, I think, 2011.
Wow.
That's a while ago now. I remember it was May,
Right.
in the month of May, and as everything goes on, my first job was crazy. I worked as a waiter. Yeah, in an Indian restaurant.
Wow.
I think I was probably at that time the first black boy that was
Really?
delivering food in the whole of Dubai.
Dubai.
Yes,
You was a
I was
waiter.
on Bank Street. I was a waiter on Dubai, Atrium Plaza, Nas Cafeteria. Just round about there, I knew everything from there, from Kumarakum to all those other restaurants that was around. Yeah.
Okay, so what's
To
your favorite?
Bombay Bites.
Right, I was gonna say, what's your favorite Indian dish then?
Oh yeah, I actually for dish I do not really fancy the dish, but I fancy the snacks.
Ah.
They call them chats.
Oh, chat.
Yes, so we call them Bombay Bites. So, but the dahi batata puri is my best. The dahi batata puri, it means uh yogurt.
Yes.
The dahi, that's dahi, and mashed potatoes
Right.
inside some pastry thing.
Okay.
Anyway, so that's how I came here, and I think I call it my rebirth because coming from where I came from, I did 9 months in this restaurant.
Right.
Then it folded up, and the owner let me go to start, and that started my journey into my business world,
Right.
which I've also gave me the opportunity to go into music again.
Yeah.
yeah, as a teacher and as a performer.
Right.
Yeah.
Amazing. So obviously you're here, and we are going to make sure that you get to share some of your amazing music with us. But
Oh, it'll be
before
my
we get
pleasure.
into that,
Mm.
obviously I've got some questions that I really want to ask you, because I know you personally,
Yes.
right?
Yes.
And for you guys out there, I met Boye in 20, was it 2019 or
I
20?
think 2019. I
I
think.
think it was.
Yeah, I think it was
Yeah, it was
2019.
2019, just
Yes.
before we went into that whole COVID
COVID.
situation.
Yes. Yes. That's true.
And I met you through a mutual friend
Yes.
who
Definitely. Yeah.
suggested that I get in contact with you
Yes.
on a musical
On a music
basis.
level. Yeah.
And I think we met here in
We met
Alcus.
Shakira in that
Yeah,
shows.
we
Yeah.
did, didn't
That
we?
was somewhere around.
Was it some
What's
kind
it
of
called?
or
Yeah.
place? It's like,
Courtyard.
yeah, the court.
We
The
sat in
courtyard.
Courtyard.
Yeah, we did.
We sat in
We
Courtyard.
did.
Yes.
And
Yes.
and
We had
one of the
coffee in
things
Courtyard.
that
Yeah.
really stood out for me with Boye was his just passion, just pure passion, and not just passion for music, just passion for things that you apply yourself to.
Yes. Yes.
You're also a sports person.
Yeah, absolutely. Yes.
So you play basketball.
Yes.
I have
Twice a
done-
week.
Exactly. So it keeps it real. But ultimately, it was our first encounter of you inviting me to come and
Yeah. To
jam,
me. Yes. Yes.
because I never had that
The-
opportunity.
Yeah. That time.
And,
Yeah. At the time.
and jam we did. Jam we did.
Mama J.
Yes, all the time. And we've had some really amazing encounters, and we've obviously done music together.
Absolutely.
But enough about me. This is about you, Boye. With the greatest respect, I know since coming to Dubai, meeting you and watching you grow, despite the fact that you've been here like over a decade, I've seen you shape original music in Dubai, and you've kind of capitalized it and you've done it all by yourself.
Yeah.
Even though you know, try to spot people to come and work with you.
course.
It sometimes works, it sometimes doesn't work. But one of the things that's great about you is that you're so tenacious. You really drive it, and you are the absolute proof. Guys, he's the proof that it can be done as an independent. He's toured, right? So we're going to get to know a little bit more about that. Toured as an independent. Can you believe it? With his own music.
Yeah.
All right. So my question to you is like, so you've been part of Dubai's music scene for over 10 years. How has it evolved, especially for independent artists creating original music?
Well, I would say it this way. It went when I came to this country. There was still a lot of different people that were doing music,
Right.
and they were very passionate about the message they wanted to share, because at the time Dubai was still super closed, and Dubai still had things like jazz or jazz band and this kind of vibe, and then they had all this little trios and pop bands and rock bands, and there was a rock and roll place in Dubai. The music room, the manager then, she's the manager of blah blah now, Jasmine.
Right.
She used to be the manager then. So during the week, on a random Wednesday, you just see all those guys. Ding, 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 ding. You find the likes of Khan, Nikhil. Those guys, they used to go there and do it there back in the days, because I think they were born here and all that. So, but as time, as the country grew and as time passed on, what we found out, or what we saw, or what we are seeing is the relegation of this type of art to a more commercial based form. So more hotels opened up, more people moved in, then it attracted more musicians, and they came to make money. They came to make money. They don't want to there's nothing we can do about that. And then people pay more attention to this commercial music. I remember learning my first, superstitious and starting
Yes.
to,
Yes.
because we needed to incorporate ourselves into that system so that we can do more.
Right.
So those are the things. So it went up at one time, and then it went down. Commercial
Right.
music came, but commercial music never seeded ground.
Okay, so what do you think, like now, as we obviously you've been in the scene for a long
Yes,
time,
yeah.
and I know that commercial music has played a pivotal role in
It's a
Dubai's
paid,
music
yes, yes.
scene.
And
But do you think now that the audience in Dubai, now that it's growing and growing, are more open to original sounds, original music?
well, I will say it's a very very tricky question. See, because it, the 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 crowd is very eclectic in Dubai. Some mu- I think we can tailor it towards people
Yeah.
basically, because what happened is the up it's upheaval for us, we original musicians. We have to really climb up, to be seen. Okay, or we have to actually create the forum
Mm,
so that we can be seen. Because
definitely.
because when you go out there, people want to poga. I use the word poga. It's not. People just want to sing along, And a new song that they do not know, it's a bit tricky for them. So they just stay, and obviously the
They
bars,
want to stay in their comfort zones,
yeah,
right?
yeah,
Yeah, I get that.
and the bars, it doesn't
Yeah,
make it help. It doesn't. I mean, it doesn't help the situation.
yeah,
People are just talking and drinking, and you're singing on, and you're trying to let them
right.
hear your message, but no, that's not it. So it is still very. It is there, and it is increasing. Okay, because we have things changing now. We have sofa sounds coming in, creating a platform for real musicians. We have brands here. I don't know how you guys do with names here, but I don't want to be mentioning names. But we
No,
have
we
a couple
don't.
of.
Well, it doesn't
It's
really
all right.
matter. It's
Yeah.
fine.
So
Yeah,
we
it's
just had
fine.
a couple of brands that really take your time to kind of like, put a little segment of
Mm,
original music,
yes.
dedicated for original music. And that helps in a way, but it's still tied within a circle of influence and influences
Yeah.
among friends and among people
A little
that,
bit of red tape around that,
yeah,
isn't there? Yeah,
that's, I think that's the
yeah,
word. So it's still
yeah.
red taped. So for people like me, and I had to just, inspire myself and keep going.
I love that.
Yeah,
I love the fact
that's
that
it.
you do inspire yourself, and
Yeah.
that's what leads me to my next question. So your songwriting and
Mm.
especially your compositions, they have a very unique sound.
Yeah. Mm.
So I want to know, where do you pull that inspiration from?
Oh wow. I am a very abstract writer. Most of my writing I have not experienced. So, however, I am my music is different because sometimes I'm sleeping and I get, I get. I mean, I'm not trying to be cliched up, but I literally get melodies and I rush out from bed just to hum it on my phone, and
Amazing.
yeah, I just hum it and then I sleep again, check it out in the next days, and I put the harmony on it on guitar, keys, whichever way. I usually sometimes ideas just come into my head, like Days of Our Lives.
Yes.
Days of Our Lives was just like was just an idea. I wanted to write, and I prayed. I remember I wrote two songs that day,
Right.
HOE and Days of Our Lives. And I said, God help me. I want to write something that vibe this way. And I want to base it with my double bass.
Yes.
So I had my double bass on and I recorded the bass line. Dun 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 dun, and it led me to that phrase, which is when we put our makeup. Yeah.
Right.
Was as they will see. Should have never turned back, even if it's that I
So,
lie.
would you say, okay, because that's really interesting, because many musicians seem to write from personal experiences,
Mm.
or whether it be like cultural experiences or whatever experience it is, it's a reflection of what their sound is about.
Yes.
But from when you mentioned you write from an abstract point of view, so you just literally rely on the download.
Yes.
And then it just goes.
Yes.
This is interesting because I myself literally write from that particularly that type of landscape
it
as
is.
well.
I find it very, very.
It is because it's also
it's
giving
very free.
out that freeness. It might reach someone who it can relate to, right?
Exactly.
So I'm down with that.
Yeah. So it is amazing, but sometimes I find myself also writing based on social construct of what is going on in town. You know, I've got freedom. You know, I've got cages. Cages is about us. You know, when you know you've got this potential all embedded on the inside of you, but the circumstances that surround your being still can never ever allow you.
Because we're so intrinsically connected that when we actually create, we create from something that's already been embedded in our soul.
Exactly, and our lived experience is very similar. Okay, and I'm talking about people of color.
Of course,
yes,
absolutely, brilliant.
So we know who we are, although we are made to think in a different light of who we are.
Well, we've worked against the grain, haven't we?
Exactly, and it's up to us to actually never sit the ground in our thought process to say that, okay, even though this is all you guys can think I am, but I know I am not this. So rather than competing, I prefer to show.
Absolutely.
Yeah, rather than competing, I prefer to show.
Guys, we're going deep here. So stick with, because this is really crucial. And obviously, I just want to make a big shout out to all the followers who are on the Vocal Podcast. Obviously, please make sure that you go and visit www.thevocalpod.org. Check out the services. Just to let you know, also Boye is part of the VocalPod. Well.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. From the beginning.
So my next question to you is, right, you're a multi-instrumentalist.
Yes.
Right? Yes. So you get involved, and when you have an idea, and you have a bunch of people around, you can direct and
arrange. Yes. I love doing that.
Do the musical direction thing. So how do you then, as a multi-instrumentalist, balance the organic feel of music with today's digital production? So, or do you kind of merge the two? What is it?
So far, so good. I've not matched it.
Okay.
So far, so good. All the music that I've made has been organically made.
I know.
So I started writing a long time ago, but I didn't go into production until COVID time.
Right.
Like a student of mine, actually inspired me, because I just picked this guy up somehow. I think the word "picked up" is very naughty. I don't want to say I picked anybody up, but I just supported this gentleman, and over time, during COVID, he just called me up and said, "I'm releasing a single," and I'm like, "What?"
I tell you, COVID put out so many albums.
Yeah.
I for one was part of that lineup.
Yeah. And he just told me, "You play everything.
Yes.
You do this. Why don't you release your song?" That's when I got my iPod. I went to Dara Market, got these attachments, started trying things out, and I realized I can actually get unfocused right thingy, and I fixed it up. And I recorded Simply Boy.
Listen,
Boy,
I'm going to right. That's one of the songs that I'm going to highlight on tonight's podcast. So there will be some little gems
Yeah.
coming through.
Yeah.
So yes.
So I wrote that. I wrote Oblivion. I wrote Simply Boy.
That's
yeah.
my husband's
Yeah,
favorite.
yeah, that is
Oblivion.
yes, he loves
He
Oblivion.
does.
Yeah,
He
yeah,
does.
yeah.
Um,
So
so okay. So do you think obviously musicianship is making a comeback as a result of COVID and being able to write and stuff?
yes, musicianship is coming back. Okay, because the people are figuring out the beauty of chords churning, to be able to actually hold that instrument and churn out chords. Okay, in retrospect to just sitting on a virtual instrument, and just making things. It is fancy, it is beautiful. However, if you see, I have a tagline that art isn't about perfection. It is about how much beauty you can bring into obscurity. Okay, so this is my motto actually. Yeah, because I realized that when we made art, if your art is perfect, then it's not art. If we, as a person, if we don't have blemishes on our face and our body, then what are we? A doll?
Well, we were made perfect in His will.
Yeah, exactly.
Weren't we?
Exactly.
So even if we had one eye or
exactly
15 toes, we were made perfect.
He brought perfection.
He brought perfection
into wherever that is us.
Absolutely.
Right? So
100%.
This is and as creator that He has made us in His image, we are supposed to bring that into the work that we do, the art that we create.
Which is why musicians come together
and just create things.
Exactly. And
so to the context of making this general formula of which music has to just be perfect timing, perfect time for this, I just don't relate to it.
I know.
Fully yet.
I think that's the difference between sort of like when you look at an artist who kind of colours outside the lines, and right, and those who really
just trail,
really have to get it to the T.
Yes.
But if you don't really understand what perfectionism is,
then you
still,
exactly,
right?
exactly.
I get you.
Yeah,
I'm following.
Yes, sir.
All right, so I'm gonna talk a little bit about fashion now. Before my final question, so we know that music and fashion have always been connected, and Boye, I've got to say, you have got to be one of the most eclectic.
I try.
Eclectic musicians I know in Dubai, because your styling range is just off the chain.
I try. Yeah.
How is it that your style? What is it that does it reflect your artistry?
Yes,
of course.
It's a total reflection of my frame of mind.
Wow.
Yes. I now have various ranges. Okay. There was a time I had low sneakers like Vans and the rest of them. Yeah. Then I shelved them, and then I had Jordan 4s, and then I wore only Jordan 4s this time. Then Jordan 1s this time, and now I'm doing Rick Owens.
So you're now sporting Rick Owens. I don't even know if we've got a way to zoom
so I'm
into
doing
Rick Owens.
This is I'm on Rick. Yeah, I'm on Rick Owens now.
Yeah.
So high platform. High platform sneakers. Rick Owens.
Lift your foot up to the camera if you can. He can. There's the Rick Owens, guys.
So I got those
no
on
product
now.
Placement.
Yeah, no product placement. If they want to play this, they gotta pay.
Paid.
They gotta pay to the podcast. Come on.
Yeah, they got paid to the vocal podcast.
So now I'm doing that, and then but I'm not limited to that, because the first thing in my mind when I'm stepping out is I want to stand out. However, I don't want to overstand out. So I'm making a statement but I'm not overstating my position. So I think we will do a longer version of fashion sometime.
I think so.
Fashion
I think I'm gonna
music.
have to call you back just on the fashion.
Yeah, because it's confidence.
Are you gonna promise me that you're gonna come back on the show?
I'll come back.
No,
absolutely.
I mean it. Come on.
I'll be back.
Am I sounding too biggy now?
Oh my J.
He's coming back.
Yeah.
Okay, so this is my final question to you. So what is next for Boye? And where do you see the future of live music and independent artists in Dubai?
I think over the years with my experiment, let me put it that way, because I'm still experimenting. We don't all have the answers, to be candid. We just try a couple of things. If it works out, fine. If it doesn't, we count our losses, move on. Um, for instance, I have over about 20 something thousand followers on Instagram.
Yeah.
Okay. However, I, I don't see the commensuration of this amount of people
Yes,
show the
it's the
kind of
value,
love.
isn't it?
Yes, I don't see that.
Right.
Okay, and then over now that I started taking my music out of Dubai, to all original musicians out there, I'm just throwing this out. Okay, I know it can be daunting in this atmosphere where we are, but never give up, because the value that you're actually looking for probably is not here. Okay, you were just put here to create. You need to transport your material, because I went out there. Okay, after all this while that I've been making music, okay, I'm okay with my name. Everybody knows me here and there. However, the real value to my worth, which probably I can never really get, but I have something that gives me something to look up to say, oh wow, was when I went to the UK.
Oh,
Yes.
wow.
I got to the UK, I played, oh my God, every pub that I played, through Birmingham, Sue's place, shout out to Sue, to Newcastle, to all the places I played. It's amazing.
Well, they certainly would have loved you, and I
Yes.
know they would love you, especially my
was-
Manchester crew.
It
They
was,
would have.
it was fire. It was crazy.
Oh
I mean,
man.
I played in pubs. I played a few yards from Sting's house. Yeah,
Awesome.
it was so the atmosphere was always on fire.
Yeah.
It was just 29 days of going from Stansted all the way to Glasgow, Edinburgh,
Amazing.
and coming back from Manchester, Newcastle side. So, but we're looking forward to do that more now.
I think that's definitely
Yeah.
going to be on the cards for you. And you've
Yeah.
actually answered my last question, is obviously
Yes.
reaching out to the audience
Yes.
to kind of inspire them to
Yeah.
never give up, because you never know. If you consider that we have got access to the world through our digital
Absolutely.
devices,
Absolutely.
be the one to step out, or be the one to colour outside the lines.
Exactly.
Get a ticket and go
And
travel
step out.
and go and share your
Your
creativity to the rest of the world, because they're waiting for you,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
And Boye, I want to just now introduce you to Sing Us Out, my favorite track.
Yeah.
Do you want to introduce it? Before you introduce it, also just give the audience your pins and tags, and or
Yeah.
where they can get a hold of your music and stuff.
I'm on all the platforms at Boye Henry Music. Just Boye Henry on Spotify, Apple Music, Tidal, everything. Boye Henry together. My Instagram is Boye Henry Music. Every other thing is Boye Henry, Boye Henry, Boye Henry. We try to use one single name so that we don't confuse people.
Of course.
And yeah, that's my handle, I guess. Oh, and Boye Henry, my website is on Komi, boyhenry.komi.io.
Okay.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah. So,
So guys, you got it there. There's no excuse now. So we want to make sure that those numbers not just climb, but you also make a comment and
comment,
be
interact.
interact with him, because he does get
with-
back. He's
yes.
really great at doing that.
Yes.
So Boye, will you sing us out a song of yours, please?
Yeah, this is
My
right
favourite
back to the
one.
top. Yeah. Shout out to Ibrahim.
Yay!
Yes, my boy. When the song I was in the studio.
Right.
We just passing by in the studio, and he said, "Okay, everything is there." I'm like, "Okay," and we just started. And
And
this
you
song,
just-
we
and this
just
song
wrote the
evolved.
Yeah, just
Wow.
right there. So
Right
that
on
was
the
it.
spot.
So
This is what improv does to you guys. Come on.
So it sat on the console. I just kept playing, and
Alright.
it came through. Yeah. So
You want to introduce the song?
All right, this is a song called Right Back to the Top. Okay. Like I said, shout out to Ibrahim. I couldn't have done the song without him. I was in the studio. He pushed me like, okay, instruments are there. So we laid the bass and anyways, that's by the way. But this is the song, Right Back to the Top. Take a minute, get 5 as I take a breath, I slow my pace. Situation got me standing by, waiting on emotion that I can't deny. As I walk this plane, as I move my lane, hoping everything will fall in place. Cause you're not really mine. Yeah, I can't deny, but the moment when I look into your eyes, it take me right back to the top. Met this girl from yesterday. She looks so good, I can't deny. Hey baby, can we talk a while? Got me an emotion that I can't deny. As I walk this plane, as I move my lane, hoping everything will fall in place. Cause you're not really mine. Yeah, I can't deny, but the moment when I look into your eyes, it take me right back to the top. And the way common rap says so say, hey pretty lady, can we talk a while? I've been waiting on the emotion that I can't deny. I'm vibing on this jam, got me thinking about your race, your face while I try to ace the game. I know your name. Through this tribulation, yeah, we stayed the same. When I held your hand, I smiled and say, I love you to stay, I can't deny. Carry on this way and I love you for life. Make me your king and you are my queen. Hold my hand now and I take you right back to the top, yeah, hey. Right back to the top, cause hey, as I work this plane, as I move my lane, hoping everything will fall in place. Cause you're not really mine. Yeah, I can't deny, but the moment when I look into your eyes, it take me right back to the top.
Woo! Yes.
Thank you so very much.
Thank you, Boye. Thank you
Thanks
for coming
for
on the
having
show.
me.
I am absolutely made up that you are here, and you owe me one, right? You're going to come back on the next time, and
Absolutely.
we're going to talk fashion.
Fashion, yes.
You know, I need some tips on the whole fashion thing. I've been getting some comments, but it's okay. It's okay because it's all part of the show. Right. Well, that is it for today. This was a special guest, Boye Henry, and what an amazing artist he is. Please go and check out his work. You can get him on all the Insta handles and also TikTok, as well as Facebook and Twitter,
yes.
So, no, it's not Twitter anymore,
Yeah,
is it?
no,
X.
it's X now. Yeah, I know the commotion.
Well, we don't really care.
Here and
We
there.
know
Really,
it's Twitter.
yeah,
Because I'm
it's
Gen X
Twitter,
and he's
yeah,
Gen
yeah,
Millennial.
Gen Millennial, I'm a Millennial.
Yes, he
yes,
is.
yes.
And until next time, my darlings, see you soon. Love ya.
Yeah, cheers. See ya.
Woo! That was awesome.
That's a wrap.